Shalom, my name is Mara Amy Muti, and I'm here to talk to you about this week's Torah portion. So this week's Torah portion is called The Life of Sarah, but it's not actually Sarah's life that I wanted to talk to you about. Do you ever have a time when you're reading scripture that you've read 100 times before and it just hits you different? Well, that's what happened to me this week. So I'm reading this week's Torah portion and it hits me. At this point, Abraham has lost everything. He was a man that was considered a great prince in the region that he lived in. He was a man that was promised by God to be the father of nations. He was promised to own all the land around him. And here we see that we have quite a different story going on. At this point in his life, Abraham has lost his son Ishmael, who we know he loves. Isaac is no longer with him at this point. He doesn't come down the mountain with him. He's not with him. And he goes back to Sarah, the love of his life, and she passes away. He doesn't even own a piece of ground to bury her in. And he has to go before this greedy man and request to purchase a grave for his wife. And yet, what do we see from Abraham? Do we see any wavering in his faith, any complaining, any moaning? I would have been doing both of those for sure, but he didn't. I believe Abraham was a man that was uniquely able to live in the past, the present, and the future. He was a man that remembered the promises of his God in the past. He was a man that lived in the present and acted in the present and lived in the moment and faced the dangers, the challenges of the moment. But he was not a man who would forget the future. Everything he did in this particular Torah portion, you can see, was with an eye to the future. He bought the grave knowing that he was going to be buried there and future generations would be buried there. He procured a wife for his son, knowing that there was going to be the future promise of grandchildren. Let us also be people who do not waver in our faith in the face of adversity. Let us be people who live in the past, who live in the present, and live in the future. And above all else, be like Abraham, who is a man of hope. Let us also be a people of hope. Shabbat Shalom.